Godpod.
I'm Kat.
I'm D.
And this week, a movie with a flicker of a good premise, an idea that gets run over by an extremely patronizing and PC message.
Strange World. Welcome to the Pandaverse from 2022.
Prepare yourself for a journey beyond what is possible. Walt Disney Animation Studios proudly presents Strange World, a new motion picture event.
Brace yourself!
Travel past space and time to a place of infinite mystery, unlike anything you've ever seen.
Where in the world are we? What in the...
Okay. I will say the only positives about this movie is I really liked the animation and the creatures and all that. That was really cool.
I actually didn't like that.
I don't understand who this movie's for.
People that don't exist.
I don't feel like this, because they clearly were trying to be more inclusive and whatever, but I don't feel like this is an accurate representation of anyone's experience.
Right, it's just femininity gone wild.
But but it's not even feminism.
No, it is. No, I didn't say feminism. I said femininity. Everything's positive, everything's good. It's all vibes, man.
Maybe I'm just too old to understand this movie. I'm just not the right generation.
Nobody gets it. No, it's all horse shit. I even read some of the reviews because I was wondering
if you were
a few things.
Yeah.
And almost all of them agreed that this movie sucked, but they still got fresh ratings.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
Well, they get scores for being inclusive.
But it didn't feel genuine. It felt like...
Of course it didn't feel genuine.
It felt like they literally made this movie just trying to check a bunch of boxes, and it wasn't even relevant to anything to do with the story.
Well, okay, here's the problem. They live in a completely localized, secluded, essentially village that is perfectly representative of every culture around the world.
Are you talking about Disney as a company?
No, Abylonia.
Oh, in the movie. Okay, I was confused who you meant by they. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you were talking about the people that made the movie.
It makes no fucking... It's like... come on. What should be a homogenous culture is just like, oh, we've got people from all around the globe here, even though you can't get in or out. And everybody would have just melded into one blob after 3 generations.
They would say, oh, it's fantasy, it can be whatever you want. That's what people would say. And that's totally fine.
But why don't we make it fantastical instead of, 2022...
tropey,
But, and just put every single person from 2022 in a movie about olden times when they didn't have electricity.
Right. It didn't make sense. It didn't... The things they were trying to input... It's fine. I'm all for it. Do whatever...
I'm not all for it. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying anybody can't be in anything, but
make it make sense.
This is stupid, yeah.
It needs to make sense, and it needs to feel like an authentic story.
Hey, and we still had white heroes, which is just... I thought that was supposed to be the point of not doing it.
And that was
white
really,
savior.
That was really my problem, is I didn't care about any of the characters.
Oh, yeah, the characters are... I mean, one character in particular is maybe the worst character in any movie I've ever seen.
Which one? Well, we'll get into it in a minute.
It's obvious. It's Searcher.
Oh,
Searcher is the most simpering, whinging little bitch of a movie character I've ever seen in my life.
His name is fucking Searcher. That's not a name. And half the people in these... Everyone in this movie had a dumbass name, except for Ethan. That's a normal name.
Wait, didn't the mom?
Her name is Meridian.
Oh, yeah, Meridian. Yeah, that was bad. I wrote Median down.
No. Meridian.
Well, and Callisto is a fairly okay. That's okay.
That's fine. Jaeger? Are you kidding me?
Well, that means hunter in German.
I know, but is he German? I don't understand. That's what...
It would have made more sense if these would have been the Alps or something that he couldn't get over.
But this is my generation naming their kids. That's the problem. Is these are the people that work at Disney now as people my age naming their kids and going, oh, we have to be different. We have to be cool.
Why don't you answer for this then?
Because I'm not normal for people my age. Okay.
So let's let
me read the synopsis.
Yeah, let's get the synopsis going.
Oh boy. Okay. Let me take a deep breath and a sip of wine here really quick. Okay. Strange World. Science fiction, family, fantasy, animation, action, and adventure. Walt Disney Animation Studios' original action-packed adventure Strange World includes a legendary family of explorers, the Clades, as they attempt to navigate an uncharted, treacherous land alongside a motley crew that includes a mischievous blob, a three-legged dog, and a slew of ravenous creatures. The voice cast includes Jake Gyllenhaal as Searcher Clade, a family man who finds himself out of his element in an unpredictable mission. Dennis Quaid as Searcher's larger-than-life explorer father, Jaeger. Jabuki Young White as Searcher's 16-year-old son, Ethan. Sorry if I butchered your name. Who longs for adventure. Gabrielle Union as Meridian Clade, an accomplished pilot and Searcher's partner in all things. And Lucy Liu as Callisto Maul, Avalonia's fearless leader who spearheads the exploration into the strange world. And then it gives a bunch of credits about the directors. Not exactly a synopsis.
Yeah, the directors, he did Raya and the Dragon, Don Hall.
Yeah, and then he was like a co-director on Big Hero 6 and Moana.
Yeah, and he directed the Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, anybody could do.
Yeah, which we haven't seen Raya, so we don't know anything about that.
And then this movie was written by Qui Win.
Okay, that's how you pronounce that last name? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
So, and I'm not sure if Qui is a man or a woman, but they also wrote Raya and the Last Dragon.
So they're clearly a team, obviously.
Kind of, yeah. But that's pretty much all both of these two have done is what we just said. They don't have an extensive background.
And I don't know that they're that great because from what I've heard, Raya does not exactly get raving reviews either. Like, there's big problems with the story. The story doesn't make sense.
Shocking, you mean like this one? The end of this movie makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Okay, just gonna spoil.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It's so unrealistic and so stupid.
I guess I understand where they were going with it, and I kind of liked the little twisty part, but it just wasn't executed well. The whole thing wasn't.
No, it
didn't make sense.
It's stupid.
Correct, sir.
So, Searcher, played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
First mistake. Big mistake. Nobody likes Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's true.
Taylor Swift's worst ex-boyfriend.
Okay, well, that aside, we all know him from Taylor Swift, Brokeback Mountain, Donnie Darko.
That's where most people, yeah.
I think Brokeback Mountain's probably his, well, and Donnie Darko, yeah. Both of those are like
his most famous.
Huge, because, I mean, really, when you look at it after that,
he really hasn't been in that many movies.
I know he's been in them, but none of them are movies that anybody says anything about. Like, there's this movie Nightcrawler, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
I think he plays like a paparazzi, and it's like a thriller.
Yeah,
type
it's a thriller, but I mean, no, I've never heard anybody like, man, you should really watch this movie Nightcrawler.
Well, I think he was in Zodiac, which is a pretty good movie, but that's like the only one. But anyways.
And then Ethan, who is played by Jabuki White, he just does voice stuff for cartoons.
Yeah, a few TV show bits, nothing really. He's a young actor, like he's really young. So
30, I mean.
Is he 30?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was like a teenager. No. His IMDb picture is like a teenager picture.
30.
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought, it's a young kid just starting out. That's so cool. They gave it to a young kid.
30.
Which is what they should have done. But,
30. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, speaking of people that are way older than they're supposed to be, Meridian is played by Gabrielle Union.
Bring it on, baby.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Who, you want to talk about 30? She was 30 in that movie, even though she was playing a teenager.
But she looks so young.
Well,
though.
Yeah, I mean, she's like a vampire, essentially.
Yeah, she's like getting younger. Yeah.
She's so young looking that she married a man 10 years younger than her.
Is Dwayne Wade 10 years younger?
Yeah, I looked it up for this because I knew it was a huge difference, and I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, she can get it. So.
Yeah, I guess so. And then Randy Quaid, our rookie.
Dennis Quaid.
Or, sorry, Dennis Quaid. I always wanted to be
Randy know you Quaid. Wanted to be. Your obsession with Randy Quaid is known to all. But yeah, we saw him in The Parent Trap, and he also played Jake Gyllenhaal's dad in Day After Tomorrow. Which,
I don't even know what that is.
That was it's a really dumb, like, end of the world, like, oh god, there's a meteor or some shit.
Oh wait, Day After Tomorrow, okay, yeah.
And that was a more compelling father-son relationship than this bullshit.
Oh.
And that's saying something, because that's a horrible movie.
Oh, this was so bad. And then Callisto, played by Lucy Liu, who also Shockingly not in a lot of big movies. She was in Kill Bill.
She's in Charlie's Angels, Kill Bill.
That's pretty much it.
No, she's in a ton of movies, but it's
lots of movies, but not big. Not as big as I expected for somebody who's as famous as Lucy Liu is.
She's had a lot of small parts in a lot of movies.
Yeah. And of course her role in Kill Bill is fucking rad.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know.
Well, guess what? It's on the new list.
It is on the new list. So, real quick sidebar. If you haven't checked out the new list, go check it out.
Oh, yeah. And if you didn't listen to the bonus podcast, because it came out in this cascade of endless daily podcast release.
Hey. We got new listeners.
We put out a new list. It includes Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures, and Miramax films.
Because they're under the Disney umbrella.
They're under the Disney umbrella, and they're rated R. And I'm very excited about them, because that means a bunch of movies that I love and that I've seen are now included, instead of a bunch of stuff I've never seen.
So it evens the playing field a little bit here.
Yeah, we get rated R movies, boobies, all kinds of
Oh
good
my
stuff.
God. Yeah, all the important stuff that makes a high quality film. Boobies. Okay.
Yeah. That was probably true until like the year 2014 or something.
Well, yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Not anymore. No boobs.
So stupid.
Not allowed.
Yeah.
Half the population has them, but can't show them.
Yeah, can't show them. Can't show them. Can't be like, hey, I'm a young, hot actress. Here's my rockin' boobs. Nope.
Yeah, nope, not a thing.
Nope. Can't do it. All right. So
they also don't show a lot of guys' butts anymore.
Yeah, which is the same deal. Like, what are we doing here?
Where are the butts?
Yeah, where are the butts? I don't even care if they show their cocks. Like,
when you made me watch Roadhouse the other day, I was like, oh my God, Patrick Swayze's butt. He's so hot.
Prominently displayed. Yes. And tons of titties in that movie.
And it was amazing.
Perfect movie.
It's a great movie.
Perfect movie. Yeah. I mean, you're talking, and you've got it all. You got.
Anyways.
Nude bodies just belong on TV. That was like half of the thing. That was half of the popularity of the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Ask me about my winner!
That is true.
Tons of nudity and everybody loved it.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. And of both sexes. It doesn't have to be a one-way street. Anyhow, fun facts.
So for this being a new movie, it is a desert.
Well, there's nothing really fun about this, so...
I already said my one. The Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal played a father and son in Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'll mention 2. One is that this movie was supposed to be called Searcher
Clade.
Cade, yeah. I keep wanting to call it McCade.
That's because you got other Bruce Willis shit in your head.
Yeah. And this movie was such a flop that in less than a month it left movie theaters and hit Disney+. Came out at Thanksgiving. Before Christmas it was on Disney+. Because it was such a horrid... mistaken flop of a movie.
I just kept wanting, because I didn't want to listen to what everybody else was saying. I was like, maybe it's not that bad. And
I didn't know anything about it, but
well, I knew that everybody said this was a horrible movie. Like, it was all over everything.
Well, spoiler alert, that is not what everybody says, but we'll get there too.
But I meant in I don't know, anything I ever read about this movie said it was horrible. So I feel like maybe people just felt obligated to say that they liked it.
I think that might play a lot into it. Anyhow, let's explore this
I was going to say the
movie.
same thing. Oh my God. Say the same thing.
So we open in Avalonia.
Jaeger Clade, never heard the meaning of the word afraid. Hard as nails, blazing trails, staring danger in the eyes. He's the manliest of guys, Jaeger Clade. Searcher Clade, joining Pat on every new crusade.
In the olden days, with the Jaeger McClades. I think I'm going to call him McClade the whole time.
That's okay.
With the Jaeger McClade song. And he's the big hero, explorer guy.
Well, it's like they were trying to... It's just the heater, I think.
Oh, okay.
They were trying to replicate, the Meet the Family thing from Encanto, but they didn't really go all the way into it. A little bit. They were like...
Was that? I guess that is what that was, but they did a really bad job.
Right.
Yeah.
So, he's on this expedition... Because basically the town is... It wasn't really clear why they were on this expedition.
Because it's the future of Avalonia. I guess what would be realistic is that they're all... Oops. Is that it's such a small thing and people have been there for so long, they're all inbred instead of outbred. And that they need more to sustain a future there. They're just kind of stuck. They can't grow. They can't really...
Yeah, it just didn't make sense why they were on this mission.
They can't do anything more than... I think what they failed to explain, but I'm going to explain, is that they couldn't do anything more than just sustain, like, their current population.
Right.
And, okay. Which doesn't really work if you can't grow.
Right. Okay, got it. Even though... Okay, we'll get to that. So... Basically, it's established the son is not like his dad. He's into the plants, and he sees this, like, sparking plant, and he's like, hey, Dad, look at this cool plant. And his dad's like, oh, that's fucking dumb. Like, I don't care about that plant.
Yeah, get over here, you little wussy.
And it's just so stereotypical of, like, this, oh, I'm an idiot macho. It was
stereotypical, but it came across not as he's an idiot macho guy, but they just really had different priorities. But they were trying to make it the other way, and it just didn't work.
It was just off-putting.
Like, yeah, it was very off-putting.
From the very beginning, it was off-putting.
Because they were also not being hateful towards each other at all. It's like, oh, respectfully, son, just leave. And that's what I mean by the femininity of, like...
That's not how men argue.
Yeah, that's not how men argue. It's not realistic. It's not hateful. It's not spiteful. There's no raw, bare emotion there. It's all just very level.
Well, but then you're supposed to...
I'm just going to go off without you, son. And the rest of the crew...
And so you're supposed to believe that they have this tumultuous relationship, but there was nothing establishing it.
No, other than, oh my gosh, later on he's like, you gave me a machete when I was 2.
It's just,
Cry me a river, bitch.
They didn't do any pre-establishing of the relationship or the characters, so you didn't care that the dad was leaving. You were just like, okay, bye.
No, it was like, okay, this guy seems like a massive pussy, but okay.
So, all of a sudden, we fast forward 25 years, and he's like this hero because these plants provide all this electricity.
Pando.
Pandering.
Pandoing. Pandoing for power, because these plants do provide electricity. They're essentially like battery plants.
Right. Which is fine.
Rad. Which is actually, that part is a great idea. That, they could have done something way better with that idea.
It's, so he's farming these plants, and then it's...
But it also kind of plays into the... Sorry.
It's all good.
It also plays into the false, like, happy energy of, oh, these... Wouldn't it be great if these plants made electricity, man? It's it permeates the whole movie. This whole idyllic, like, oh...
We can live in a harmonious environment together.
Exactly.
And so we meet the rest of the family.
We got his gay son, Ethan.
Which, okay, I have no issue with him being gay.
No, this was fine. I didn't care. That's fine.
But it's irrelevant to the entire movie.
They really didn't need it. It was actually just a small distraction to check the box that he's
But that's
gay.
what I'm saying. Is because, like...
It was like, okay, we're going to need to include a gay character. Okay, we'll make it the son. Okay, check.
It didn't create any point of tension. It didn't create any...
literally zero tension.
Which is
Grandpa
fine.
was okay with it. Dad was okay with it. And it was all made to just point out how great and okay everybody was with it. Which...
is fine. It's totally fine.
Okay, right. But how about let's just make him gay and then not point it out at all?
Right. But the whole thing with the scene with his friends and, like, the guy that he's... All of a sudden he's, like, normally, like, a pretty...
Well, that scene was actually okay because it showed us that he didn't want to be the farmer. That was our only like foray into like, oh, he doesn't want to be like his dad. And other people also kind of know
that he doesn't want to be like his dad.
That he doesn't want to be like his dad. Like,
okay, fair enough.
It was fine establishing that. It was all the stuff later on that was like, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Right.
So they go and make their deliveries. They seize...
Well, and they make their deliveries, and then there's clear daddy issues as soon as he sees the statues.
Oh, yeah. His
daddy issues just, like, erupt like a fountain of all mistreated men and women.
It doesn't make any sense because we didn't have that foundation of he had this tumultuous relationship.
Well, and if he really hated him and he left, it's like, okay, fine, but really you're going to have, like, these deep-seated daddy issues? Like, come on.
Because there was no base for it.
And
so
it's like, oh, I'm going to be a perfect father. But it really seemed like my father also really, really cared about me.
Right.
What? What?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
His father trained him and, like, was with him all the time.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Well, that's like the whole thing, is they're
You
trying
didn't
to
understand who I was, which is the worst thing you could do.
Then they go home and there's a weird quick segment where they're making dinner and everyone's dancing.
Ooh, no.
And it was just horror. I
did not like that. That was uncomfortable and weird and stupid.
Even the dog is dancing. The three-legged dog. Which, why does he have 3 legs? Completely irrelevant.
No. It makes him more sympathetic.
I know, but it's dumb.
That's the one that has a disability. You're checking boxes.
That's what I mean. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Like really? The dog?
They have a 3-legged farm dog.
Oh my god.
They rescued it.
The dog was cute, but still.
Hey, spoiler alert. That dog won an award.
What? Oh, okay. I was like, what? What? In real life?
In real life, what? The fake animated dog won an award?
So then, all of a sudden, there's a huge spaceship outside, or what looked like an airship.
And
it's the president?
President Callisto, who was on...
She was on the expedition, right?
And I think... Okay, they didn't actually say this, but it was clear her entire crew was the rest of the crew of the expedition as well.
Okay, it was unclear.
It was unclear, but I think it just, like, vaguely alluded to the fact that he knew all of them.
Right.
Because they were all people from the expedition. Searcher went on to become a farmer. Callisto went on to lead the free world.
Yeah. Even though, it's just a whole...
Yeah, it's like, okay. But yeah, the people from that expedition run the world, essentially. And
so she's telling him that the crops are dying, or that, like, what is it called?
The Pando's dying. Which they had slightly alluded to before, when the plane ran out of batteries a little too early.
Right.
Like, okay.
And he's like, oh, it just must be a pest. Foreshadowing.
So he's got to go right up into the flying machine. Ethan throws an absolute fucking fit that he can't go with.
Why can't I go with
even though he shouldn't even expect to be able to go with, because he's a kid and this is like a real adult mission.
Like a dangerous mission he might not come back from.
Yeah. And he's not a trained explorer like Mr. Searcher was.
Right.
They go off. Oh boy.
So they're following the routes, and then immediately...
Oh yeah, because they say that the Pando has one single route that goes... All the Pando grows into one single route.
Right. And immediately, oh, your son's on the ship. And of course the mom is like...
The mom's following. Hey, the son's on the ship.
Searcher!
What? Meridian? What are you doing down here?
I've been trying to flag you down for the last 4 hours. Our son is on your ship!
What did she just say? Honey, what are you saying? What is she saying?
She said your son is on our ship.
Hey, Mom!
Ethan?
Oh, hey, Dad!
And you brought the dog? What are you doing here?
Look, Dad, I just want to help.
Ethan, we talked about this. I can't. I need you to take care of the farm while I'm gone. Now, please, go home with Mom.
Wait, but...
And then, of course, they're, like, attacked?
Yeah, they're attacked. Mom has to save the day with the crashing...
Because, like, the
airplane.
pilot gets, like, sucked out of the plane or something, right?
Or falls out.
I don't know what happened to the pilot. I, looked away for a second, and then I was like, oh, where'd the pilot go?
Yeah, fell... For some reason, he fell forward. It was...
Unclear.
It was unclear, and just like, okay, I see this as a plot device.
It's like a flock of pink fluorescent pterodactyls.
They look like flukes.
What's a fluke?
A microscopic creature. A bunch of these were microscopic creatures.
That was intentional then.
Yeah, there's a bunch of intentional...
See, I don't know that much about biology, so that was all like, oh, this is fun to me.
Yeah. And I personally, when they pop into this other world, it just... I understand what they were going for, but I didn't think it popped enough.
You mean like the colors?
Yeah, they were going for this like crazy color scheme, but it was all still kind of muted.
It was a little muted. It wasn't like...
Yeah, and I was like, wait. Why didn't we just go for it instead of this muted... The best colored things were the flukes that were that hot pink color. Everything else was kind of...
Because it should have been more colored like Wreck-It Ralph was colored, where it was very vibrant and very
And vivid.
colorful
Yeah,
and vivid.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
100%.
So that threw me off. I was like, okay. So they crash land the plane.
And meanwhile, Searcher and the dog fall off way back. But they were able to see where the plane goes. He's like, oh, they made it safe.
Well, he should be able to pretty much easily follow the sight line to the plane. It's a straight line, literally.
And they should be able to see him because he can see them. Like, it doesn't really make sense.
I could see how they couldn't see him, like, looking up and away. That kind of... Because he's looking down on them.
I guess that's true.
And he's small, and that plane is gigantic. It's not a plane, it's a blimp with wings and...
Yeah, a weird flying, unidentified flying object.
Flying oddball.
And then all of a sudden, Searcher's being attacked, and oh gosh... Oh, who could have guessed that his dad was going to be there to save him?
Save the day, even though he looks like a crinkly little thing until... Oh!
Hi. Hello. I'm a human being from the top world. You probably don't understand a word I'm saying, do you?
Of course I understand you. What do you think I am, one of those mindless monsters?
Huh?
That's right, bub. You're in the presence of the one, the only Jaeger.
Dad?
Who are you? Oh, my son. And he doesn't believe that he's his son at first. He's like, oh no, I'm having a delusion.
Well, he's been there for 25 years, isolated. Like,
yeah.
That actually checks out.
And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah. I believe you.
Well, he shows him the compass. And that's how he's like, oh my god, my son.
That's right. Yeah.
So Ethan gets all mad or something. I don't remember why he gets mad. He gets upset about something.
Well, he wants to go find his dad.
Oh, that's right. His mom and the captain are like, no, he'll be fine.
We'll go find. We'll. The safest way to find him is the air rescue, which is absolutely true.
So he decides, fuck that. I'm going to go off on my own
on this like motorcycle thing.
And he meets this weird blob thing.
Well, yeah, he crashes.
Right.
So then he ends up meeting Splat.
And he thinks that Splat is a friend, which at first Splat is not a friend.
Yeah, Splat hits him.
Well, and then he lures him to, like, the horde of...
I can't even remember what they called them, like Reapers or Reavers or something.
Reapers, it was Reapers.
So yeah, he lures him to the main Reapers. And just as he's about to get eaten... in jumps Grandpa.
And he's like, oh, it's your grandpa. Oh, what? Oh my god, my grandpa.
Dad and Grandpa save the day, and they ride on this thing, and then Mom shows up at some point with Callisto, and they like ride further, and they're doing fire, and they throw some Pando at the Reachers.
So, like, I kind of like this part. This part was kind of cool, where they were, like, trying to escape the things. I thought it was kind of cool. Like, the animation segment was cool.
Good for you. Yeah, cool.
Anyways, trying to give it some positives.
Yeah. Good for you, once again. So, yeah, the mom rescues them. And then Ethan and Grandpa have a little bonding sesh over
oh my god,
over the boyfriend and danger and
the flamethrower, and then Searcher freaks out. What'd you say to my son?
No, that's later. That's way later.
Oh, why did I write Oh, no, but he doesn't want him to play with the flamethrower.
He just doesn't want him to have anything to do with his
right.
grandpa.
He's an overprotective douche.
Well, no, he just does. The only thing he cares about is that his son is not like his grandpa.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it is very dumb. Extremely dumb. So then they go with the suggestion, said, let's just bring the temperature down. Because that's realistic. They go play a little card game, and there's more whining and whinging.
And it's one of these super complicated deck building...
It's not complicated, they just don't get it.
Well, okay, but it's complicated.
No. You're missing the whole point. It's a cooperative game, but the guys only want to have it be a combative game. They're old school. They don't know how to cooperate. They don't know how to get along.
So they're just dumb.
Like chicks. Yeah, so they're dumb males instead of enlightened people who can build something together. That to me is like This is the essence of the movie boiled down to like the whiniest little bitchiest scene.
It's just a dumb scene. Like, it just doesn't...
But it makes that point without you really realizing it. It's like, oh, no, these guys aren't enlightened like Ethan.
Which...
They can't play a cooperative game. There always has to be a weapon and a bad guy. That's why he's like, there is no bad guy. There is no bad guy. You guys are the bad guys.
Well, and you know what's funny? Is at one point Jaeger even says, that's just lazy storytelling. Because it is lazy storytelling.
Cooperative games are lazy for the most part. Sometimes they can be okay, but mostly cooperative games, it's like, no.
What? No.
Check out my new weapon.
If he gets a monster, I get Pando.
No monster, no Pando.
And no bad guys? What kind of game has no bad guys?
That's just poor storytelling.
Okay, you know what? You want bad guys? Fine. You two are the bad guys. Because you both are annoying me. Duh!
Teenagers, right?
I thought it was super, like, I don't know if ironic is the right word, but really, lazy storytelling. Oh, look, this movie has no villain. Lazy storytelling.
Well, this entire movie is lazy storytelling.
But I'm like, were they trying to be funny in that line? Like,
no, I don't think they didn't recognize it. No self-recognition in this movie at all.
Because I thought that was like a little...
No. Or Cat, come on.
Because that's all I could think of. For like the next 5 minutes after this was like, oh my god, you just said that and you don't even recognize that you're talking about your own movie.
Yeah, no.
So they fight off more of the... first they have to cross the acid lake and they get help from some weird...
Tardigrades. They're exactly tardigrades.
I don't know what that is. Like in your stomach? Well, that's
nanoscopic creatures. Look it up on your phone real quick and tell me if it's not a tardigrade. Doodle-doo. Doodle-doo.
No, it is.
Yeah, they're tardigrades.
And that's it looks like a what's the thing in Florida?
Like a bear without features.
No, a manatee. It looks like a manatee.
It is like a manatee, yeah. It is very manatee-esque as well. But yeah, these tardigrades fly them over the acid lake and then just to bit more of the same.
Oh yeah, because they fight off
some more of the reapers.
Right, and then there's a bunch of father-son
drinking time.
Yeah, because they're all cool now, apparently.
Yeah, we're cool dudes. And then there's mom buddy time.
Right.
Where you see that he takes more after his mom.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, they're fighting the things.
Oh, they fight more of the things after that.
So they go to the heart, the center... And then they just they decide they're going to turn it into like a giant crop duster.
Yeah.
But then what happens is like Ethan gets mad again. And so he because he doesn't want to...
Because there's the farmer, not farmer dad talk. Just like the explorer, not explorer dad talk from earlier.
And he doesn't want to kill the things because he's like, it doesn't feel right, man.
Yeah, my feelings matter more than the facts, Dad.
Right. And so he runs away. His dad chases after him with a speeder, and they end up going all the way out of this thing, and then it's revealed that they're actually inside of a giant organism.
Yeah, because they look at its eye.
Right, and that they live on the back of this giant organism, and that they've been traveling through the inside the entire time. So they realize that the Pando is actually a virus.
Or a parasite.
A parasite that's been latching itself on and actually killing this thing.
Well, it's killing it now that it reached its heart.
Right. So...
But they can't destroy this living thing, and so the government locks them all up, which is the most realistic thing that happens.
It doesn't make sense that she's just like, oh, I don't believe you. She completely trusted them this entire time.
Oh, no. This makes sense. Her goal is to stay president, which means that they need power. This entire story doesn't work from this point on.
Okay.
Their entire goal should have either been to find a way to keep the Pando alive and the thing alive.
Right.
Or just to keep the Pando alive. This idea that you would kill off the Pando, which has advanced your civilization to a whole new level, just to save this one stupid living creature.
Well, I think they were saying, like, if they didn't do that, their entire society would cripple because the creature would die. So they would die.
What would make that die? You'd just then be floating on a lump of compost instead of this thing. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous idea of just like, oh, only good vibes, man.
Right.
Only good vibes. Really, if they were trying to be as realistic as possible, and they would have tried to make it some kind of symbiosis, like, let's get the roots out of the heart, but let it continue to kind of grow in check.
Right, and that would have actually made more sense
exactly
with the message, because they were saying earlier,
more symbiotic.
Because when they were playing the card game, and he was saying you have to learn how to work with your environment.
Yeah.
So it would have made more sense.
That's what I mean. This whole thing where they're like, oh no, man, we're gonna kill the oil industry. We don't need it anymore. It's a carbon footprint.
But then when they all of a sudden, this is the part that didn't make sense to me, is that they go back and all of a sudden the president's like, oh, I get it now. But nothing's really changed. Like, she sees... Oh,
it's a living creature, so now we can't kill it,
But she, like, saw everything before, so I don't understand what she exactly saw. She saw the heart?
She got beat up.
Like, it's so dumb. She wouldn't just change her mind like that all of a sudden. So anyways, they're able to crack through the surface because his dad comes back and he helps him. Or Jaeger comes back and helps Searcher, and they crack through it, and then all the whatever they're called, the
Reachers, Reavers,
the immune system.
They kill it. They think it's all dead. Oh no! Here comes the thing.
We're too late.
Back to life.
But then the little orange things, whatever they are, they're like healing things. Yeah. They come and the
heart starts pumping, man.
Starts pumping. And then he's like, before we go back, I gotta take my dad to the other side of the mountains, man. So they go out.
And they look at the eyeball in the ocean, and they go back in. Great.
Okay, cool. Why wouldn't they just fly over the top? That's what doesn't make sense.
It doesn't go high enough.
That doesn't check out with the logic.
Of course not.
Like, how tall are these mountains?
Because this thing can go down as far as it possibly can go, but not high.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So then it's a year later, and now Ethan is off. He's with his boyfriend, and they're down in the thing.
They're living in the creature.
Right.
Right. They're living in the creature doing something.
Who knows?
Making society better inside the creature. Nobody really gets it.
It doesn't make sense.
It looked like they were cleaning up the old roots, which also doesn't make sense.
And his dad's like a regular farmer now. He farms plants.
Yeah, and everybody's totally cool with going back to the Dark Ages. Even though now they've built this gigantic, overpopulated society that they can definitely not sustain anymore.
How did they get the electricity at the very end where she turned on those lights?
It was wind power. Didn't you see the airship was up there and it was blowing a little wind through the generator and and now they're gonna get free power, man.
Like,
it's coming from the sun and the stars.
Why wouldn't they have just... Okay, so how did she get the thing up there in the first place if it was powered by paint?
It's a balloon.
Oh, it was a hot air balloon.
It was a balloon.
But that doesn't generate enough...
Of course it doesn't.
It just doesn't really make sense. Like, okay, so here's the thing. I liked the concept of it being that, we're living in a giant organism.
No.
We're going through the thing magic school bus style.
No.
I kind of liked that. Just me personally, I was like, that's kind of different. So it had, but it just wasn't executed very well.
Was it different? I don't know. And then they're the only thing on that planet that lives on the back of this giant sea turtle with nothing else. What does the sea turtle eat? Nothing?
Well, the sea turtle, and that was actually one of the weirdest, most off-putting parts, is when they zoomed out, and the sea turtle is like this size of North America sea turtle on the Earth.
But it was the only thing.
Yeah.
There was nothing else.
It just doesn't make sense.
So what does it eat? It doesn't. Okay, great. It grows off good vibes, too.
Well, I thought that it had, like, the regular Earth, like, continents and stuff.
No. It was all ocean. They showed the whole globe, and it was all ocean with just that thing. That's what made it worse.
Because there is a whole community of people that believe we do live on the back of a giant organism.
Great, and that's fine if we do.
But
you ain't the only thing on the back of that giant organism, you fucking narcissistic little prick. Alright, so, got any, rewards for this thing?
This movie is so PC, even the dog had 3 legs.
Yeah. My first award is the Jaeger Clade Whinging Bitch Award for the whiniest little bitch in a movie of all time.
He was just such an unlikable character.
He was constantly whining, constantly bitching, like, fuck you.
Sorry.
Couldn't stand him.
He was just very unlikable. That was the biggest problem, is he was a very unlikable character.
Extremely unlikable.
To have Searcher's parents and everybody else's parents in this movie thought they were so cool, they had to come up with super unique names. Award.
Yeah, nice. I threw in the Strange World Positive Toxicity Award / Inclusive People Be Including Award. It's just toxic inclusivity. It's just terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Terrible.
And I have the "bury your part of the band" cheesy line when Jaeger says to Searcher, "My legacy is you."
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
Just completely out of his character.
Yeah.
I get they're trying to show he's changed and all this.
Yeah, he's changed.
But it doesn't
he's so in touch with his feminine side.
Well, and apparently, I don't know if they were trying to say he became like a 3-person thing when he went back to Penelope at the end, and her husband is
throuple.
That's what I was getting from that, and I was like, okay, that's what's going on here.
That's what it did seem like, which was also terrible and off-putting. My last award was the Hey Hey Award for Legend. He was an award winner. He was the whack character because he really was just a whack dumb dog.
I thought that the whack character would be that stupid Blob.
No, the Blob was a little more sentient and smart than Legend.
Yeah, because Legend was always like, "Oh my god, you're gonna die! This dog is
shocking himself over and over again."
That was the only part of the movie that I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, when he kept eating the things to get shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it for that. Do you have any surprises or disappointments?
I actually didn't write anything down. I was too I knew.
I felt like that too. So the only thing I just threw it out there. I was like, it's violently modern.
Yeah. And we need to be clear. Like, I don't have any issue with him being gay or any of that.
Oh no! No, that's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
The issue is, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's not logical.
Yeah, it makes, even for a fantasy, it makes no sense. This is nobody's fantasy.
Because they're trying to make it kind of based in science, but it's not based in science.
It's not based in anything. It's just based in people's feelings, and that doesn't belong.
Yeah, if you're going to try to have some diverse cast, diverse thing, at least make it feel authentic, and nothing about this felt authentic in any way.
No, it sure didn't. Sue, if you remade this movie, what would you do?
Better characters, less grating family dynamics. Like, I didn't buy that this cool mom character was in love with this guy.
Cool mom.
So not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
I didn't buy their relationship at all.
The things I care about the most are my farm, the family, and flying. And if I had to fly through fire to save them, I would.
And the dialogue was really grating. Like, that was the other part. Like, the dialogue...
It all plays on to the same thing. All of it was grating. And it really, 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 really just hurt this thing.
Yeah.
I just put symbiosis, and they could have changed the ending to make it the symbiotic thing, but whatever. Any final thoughts?
No. None.
Spit this movie out.
Yeah, kind of.
Did you get a budget?
$120 million.
To make it?
To make it, and they only made $73 million. They lost a lot of money on this movie. A lot.
They sure did. Because this movie sucks. So, rolling into that, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is?
With the critics?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess like a 50-something.
72%. 72. Almost a high-ranking movie. What do you think the people have it as?
Probably even higher.
Actually, no. 66. But which is still way too fucking high.
Yeah.
Like, people who are watching this must have been way too high when they watched it.
Or, you know what it is? you're coming out of the pandemic. There isn't really a lot of new movies, new content. And so people are so desperate for movies. So they go to the movie theater and they're like, oh yeah.
Well, nobody saw this in the movie theater.
Well, either way, I'm just saying, like, people are so desperate for, like, fresh, you know.
I still think a bunch of people just gave it positive reviews because of the DEI part of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because otherwise, I don't know what you're watching otherwise.
Because it's just the story is just it's just a weird movie and it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work. It just does not work. So, Kat, what is your score for this movie?
I really wanted to like this movie. I really did. I wanted to be like, no, people are wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and throughout the entire movie, I kept trying to find redeeming things about it, but then some character would say something fucking stupid, and I would be like, nope, this is not a good movie. This is lazy storytelling. They set up no foundation.
It's just bad.
They spent time on stupid, dumb dance cooking sequences that they could have spent on establishing him and his dad's tumultuous relationship. So I give this movie a 22%, or 2.2 out of 10 unnecessary forced messages that no one needs to be told right now.
22.
Yeah.
Man, that is really, really messed up. Because I also gave it 22%.
No, you didn't. Stop it. Well, we are definitely in symbiosis with one another, not like this movie.
Yeah.
So.
And it just being a bad, terrible, stupid thing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So now.
I think now it's time for Dee's favorite part of the podcast.
Yeah, this actually might change now to my favorite.
So wait, do I need to do this part then?
No, it's all me.
Oh, it's all me.
It's all me. All eyes on me. Big time list. Big time new change.
How many numbers is it out of now?
960.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Mary and Joseph.
Yeah. Alright, so.
I can't guess anymore. Like, that's the thing, is there's no way for me to know.
Yep, there is no way for you to know. Or me. Now it's number 339. Which I don't know what that means.
That used to be a new movie. Now it's probably an old as shit movie. Well,
It's a movie from 1994.
Okay.
I've never heard of it. I don't know what it is. It sounds foreign.
Okay.
It is number 339, Camilla from Miramax.
Okay.
So is it by, like, Prince Charles Camilla?
I have no idea.
Camilla Parker Bowles.
It's like some rich bitch, and her name is Camilla. But she's, like, mysterious. And everyone's like, oh, you know that Camilla. She's a mysterious lady. But she has a rich family. And then there's, like a stable boy who's like, Camilla, I love you. And he has to win over her love. It's a historical romance piece.
That Camilla. I think it's about the Prince Charles Camilla.
That would be fucking sweet. I'm a whore.
Either way. Different kind of movie. Different kind of feel.
Yeah.
For next week. Camilla.
Yeah. And if you haven't in the last 30 days subscribed, please do. And please,
tell a friend.
Yeah, phone a friend. And,
throw some reviews out there.
Put your thoughts in there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we'd really appreciate it.
We appreciate everybody's little thoughts.
Thanks.
So, in the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
Bye. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to make my job, like, extra difficult. Because I anticipated this taking even longer than what it took us, so I was like...
I anticipated it taking less time. I just wasn't counting on that thing being completely stripped out, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Oopsie doodle.
Daisy. Oh, that was my fault.
You don't say.
Oh, shush. Whoops.
Oopsie doodle.
Both having a lot of whoopsies today. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
FFF, huh?
Well, just look at the length of this. Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Gong.
Are you now? Oh, wait. I should open this, I guess.
You don't say.